Good morning, it's Barbara. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful on my deck and beautiful outside. I'm going to go take you for a little tour of what my garden looks like today. As predicted, my irises opened while I was gone. See what I mean? The beautiful light purple and the gorgeous yellow. But when you look at these from the road, anybody looking at these from the road, these are going to read brown. This purple is darker a little bit. They're going to read brown. The eye merges the purple with the yellow into brown. I really dislike this color in this irises until I really looked at it carefully, and now I'm kind of in love with it. Interesting, the difference in intensity of the purple. This one's much purpler than that one. So, gorgeous, gorgeous. If we didn't have a house full of flowers from Mother's Day, I would cut some and bring them in, and I'm going to get some of my purple and white ones. These are the two-tone white and dark purple that are so gorgeous. So the lilacs are gone. The dogwood is gone. There are peaches on the peach tree. But look at what I have here. Ha ha ha! I'm so excited. I love my rhododendron. I was really mad at my tree people who cut it down in the bottom part, but they didn't ruin it. But I'm not a fan. I liked it big and bushy, but it's still gorgeous. And that's the view out my bedroom window, is the top of this, and it's so beautiful. And then our azalea, you don't need to see my car. My azalea is in full bloom and looking absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So my front and side yards are looking beautiful, and I think I'm going to be thinking about my garden, my backyard, and what I want it to look like next spring, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Oh, did you miss me? I missed you. Well, my days were very different without my vlog. Oh, it is a stunningly beautiful day. Dennis says it's going to get into possibly the 80s today, so I am having my morning on the deck. Vicky's upstairs packing, getting ready to go. She leaves in a couple of hours. We've really enjoyed her visit. Her mother says, "Oh, Vicky's leaving today. I'm going to miss her." And she will. It's been so much fun to have her. And she's been a big help, and that's nice. Nice to have help. And she got some good quality time with her mom, and that's good. That's good. So Dennis will be taking her to the airport. Meanwhile, I'm off today. I feel like I've been really busy, and you know, I went to bed early yesterday. I got up early today. But yeah. So I did not take any video because, you know, how I am. But my parents' farm that my brother lives at, my brother's house now, my mother worked really hard on her garden, and they planted all kinds of stuff, and it is lush and green and lots of different flowers, and makes me think that I need to do more to spiff up my back, because we sit in the back. Now the things I just showed you are all in the front, and we see them when we go in and out to walk the dogs and stuff, but we don't hang out in our front yard very much at all. We just don't hang out. In fact, there was a deer, and I probably told you the story. There was a deer in our front yard the other day when we brought the dogs home. They didn't even bark. They don't even consider the front yard their territory, because they have the backyard. So anyway, I want to start thinking about planting some stuff. And my mother has a couple of snowball bushes. They're giant and gorgeous and beautiful right now. Made me think that I think I want to plant a snowball bush. And at one point we had a butterfly bush. And it, attracted butterflies and pollinators, and I think we need to find a place for a butterfly bush. And the fact of the matter is, our backyard is less shady. I think of it as way more shady than it is these days, because when we bought this house, the backyard was like a forest. We have taken out possibly 8 big shady making trees in the 20 years we've lived here, because of course they stopped making shade and they died, and they started falling apart and being dangerous. So in my mind, we have this really shady backyard. But in reality, the part over here is very shady because it's next to the other property, and there are lots of trees around. But there are many more sunny spots in this backyard than I think of it as having. And so I need to rethink it, because I would love to have more lush gardeny stuff in the backyard, because this is where we sit. This is where we enjoy our outdoor time. And yeah, and it just made me realize, because the patio at the farm is just surrounded by all this beautiful stuff. So I had a wonderful visit with my parents, with my mother for Mother's Day. We just made a barbecue. It was my sister, my brother and his wife, me, and my parents. So it was a small little get together out on the farm in the beautiful weather, and it was really, really nice. It was good to spend some time with my sister and my brother. Dennis sent along some wines. My brother is a bit of a wine expert. He was a sommelier at one point in his career. He sold wine and liquor as his job for 20-something years. And I'm pretty sure he took, courses and was certified as a sommelier. He was a sommelier at one of the fancy restaurants at the Caesars Resort in Atlantic City at one point. So he knows his wines a lot, and Dennis really respects his opinion. And so I took some wines, and there was one wine Dennis wanted John's opinion on, and John loved it. I am so impressed with Dennis and his winemaking. His wines are really good. And I've told you this story a million times. When he started making wine, I was worried because, I don't know anything about wine. My parents had a winery when Christy was a baby, for quite a few years. But I only knew my dad's wine because I got my wine for free. I would go up and every year he would have a different wine that was my favorite wine. One year it was the Chardonnay, one year it was the Blush, one year it was the whatever. And, so it changed every year because, they were vintage. So every year the grapes were different and the wine was different. And, so I don't know much about wine. I just know what I like. And I was a little worried. I have to say I was a little worried. But his wines are so delicious. It's so fun. It's so fun because he's making gorgeous wines. And anyway, so he was very interested in John's opinion of that Sauvignon Blanc, and John really liked it. But it was a minerally Sauvignon Blanc. The grapes had come from Chile, and Chile's style of Sauvignon Blanc is more minerally, and New Zealand style is fruity. My sister prefers the New Zealand style, so she liked this wine, but she didn't love it. But John raved. He loved it, so that was fun. Anyway, we had a wonderful visit. I was ready to be home, though, to tell you the truth. I didn't sleep well there. I drank too much, and, I was ready to be home. So my sister and I went to visit my parents for an hour or so before lunch. She stayed. She was having lunch with them and was going to stay till they took their naps. And I just left and kissed them all goodbye and left. Dennis's cousin was here visiting Aura and Vicky, but they had gone by the time I got here, so I didn't get a chance to see them by the time I got home. So I just kind of crashed when I got home, and I went to bed early. Which reminds me, I have to do my Wordle. I didn't do my Wordle before. I went to bed before midnight, so I got up early today and forgot to do my Wordle. But Aura was up a little early too, so I brought her a cup of coffee and she drank it in her room. And I've been sitting out here on the deck, and it's beautiful. But I wanted to say good morning and tell you a little bit about my trip. The trip down was cloudy here, and in fact we had walked the dogs in a little bit of a sprinkle. I left here about 5 o'clock, 4:30, dropped Vicky off at her party, and then hit the road. By that time it had stopped raining. It was very cloudy, but I didn't need my windshield wipers the whole time. By the time I was halfway there, it's starting to really lighten up, and by the time I got, within 30 miles of my destination, it was a bright sunny day. And I don't think there's a spider trying to get me. I don't think there's been a cloud in the sky for the last 3 days. Sunday, Monday, and today's Tuesday, not a cloud in the sky. I mean, stunningly beautiful weather. So I really, really appreciate that, and I'm enjoying it. And I'll be outside as long as I can. Or I'm sure Aura will come out for a while, and till she gets hot, and spend some time out here. Did you see how cute my hair looks? Vicky cut it for me. She just cut the back off for me straight, but it just made all the difference. I'm really happy with it. Anyway. All right, so that's the news. I'm back, and get another hour or two of visiting in with Vicky, and then she'll be gone, and Aura will be sad. But it's been nice. Apparently they had a lovely Mother's Day dinner. Kim came, so it was three of her kids. Aura had 3 of her kids. Dennis made them crab cakes, which are her favorite. It was her request, and she loved every bite, apparently. So, and that's what we had last night too for leftovers, and I loved every bite as well. So that's the newses. Yeah. I can't smell flowers. I think it's the honeysuckles. We do have some fragrant honeysuckles in the woods. There's a kind of a honeysuckle that doesn't even have a smell, which is really weird. And that turns almost like a tree, but there are some fragrant honeysuckles in the woods. I can smell them. Little fragrance on the breeze. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me for coffee today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.